What's going on, everyone? Bandit FX here, and today I'm going to be going over the recent dip in the crypto market on February 22nd, 2021, and my thoughts of where we're headed. If you take a look at the 4 hour, this is Litecoin. Um, we did have this short-term 4 hour trend on Litecoin right here, and we did just break and retest this level to continue down. Even though this most recent 4 hour candle did close with a long wick at the bottom, it did still close bearish. So this should just be a wick fill and a continuation down to the bottom. We could see a small push to the upside, but I'm not convinced for long-term buys just yet. I do think we should come down a little bit longer and consolidate for the next week or so until we make the next leg up. And if you take a look at the daily time frame, you'll see just exactly what I mean. So we had a previous resistance here at $83, $84. We came up, we broke that level, and we created a new support at around 126. So um, the previous resistance was at the $180 area. We did just wick off of that area, so I did take a short-term trade just to catch the bounce, but I do believe that we are going to consolidate downwards as we did here. So, you know, with any financial market, nothing can just go straight up. As soon as something becomes parabolic, it becomes very risky to enter a buy at that point. So, considering that, especially on Litecoin, we haven't even broken the all-time high yet, unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, I do think that this next leg up is going to be a massive, massive push to the upside, definitely breaking the all-time highs. However, if you guys are trading this on margin, if you're holding, that's one thing. If you are trading this on margin, you want to get the best buy position possible. So I'm going to be scaling in personally between the $190 area and the $170 area. And basically, my projection is that we're going to, what is this? We are going to continue down. Um, Basically to around this box. So we should consolidate similar to how we did right here. We may not break this initial wick to the downside, so I might move this up a little bit. I would say around, basically 190s to 170s are pretty decent buy points. So what I'm projecting after we do consolidate and bounce off this daily trend line here is that we should see a push up to at the very least $350. Um, as you know, the last leg in an uptrend is always the longest for the most part. So that is my price projection for Litecoin. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin has been running and running and running and running and running. Obviously, um, basically dwarfing the 2017 bull run. So I do think that, this is still very, very early in Bitcoin's bull run, so these two pushes up are probably, when Bitcoin was at 2,000 and retraced down to 1,500, and when we hit 5K and retraced down to 3K. That's where I think we're at in this current bull run, even though Bitcoin is almost $60,000. I do think that we could definitely come down to retest this previous resistance at around 40,000 on Bitcoin, and we should turn into support somewhere around that area. So, looking at the daily time frame, just to get a better view of things, I'm gonna draw a level right here. Change this. Okay, so this is basically what I'm looking for with Bitcoin. Any buys, and I would say this area would be a pretty good idea. Obviously, this is if you're trading on margin. Once again, if you're holding, it's always good to accumulate crypto. It really doesn't matter the price if you're gauging a long-term hold. Um, but this still could be beneficial to you because you obviously want the best buy points at all times. You don't want to buy a high for it to retrace and you sit and draw down for no reason. So you want to get the most amount for your money. And with that being said, I do think we could see Bitcoin dip back into the 40,000s, even though this daily candle is still open. We closed with a very big rejection to the downside on the 4 hour. It's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon right now, Eastern Standard Time. So We do have a few hours before this daily candle is closed. I do think this wick on Bitcoin could definitely get filled and we can continue a little bit farther down. We may not break this wick, which is okay with me. I am going to have a buy position somewhere around 48,000 in case we do decide to form a support on this previous consolidation. So, this is basically what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. I do think the next push up on Bitcoin, we could probably, and this is a very strong probably, I do think that we could be somewhere around the 90 to $100,000 area. Um, so this is what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. I'm gonna have a buy around the 48,000 mark personally, and I will scale in. If price starts to um, drop a little bit further. I do not think this is the end of the bull run. We are nowhere. This is very early. If you take a look at the history of Bitcoin and the length of its bull runs, the bull runs are usually at least a year long. 8 to 12 months at least, bare minimum. So, um, for this bull run to only be 4 months makes no sense, especially when we just broke the all-time high a couple months ago. So, um, based on history, Bitcoin should continue upwards. I do have around $100,000 price target for Bitcoin before we see another retracement, another major retracement, I should say. So this is basically what I'm looking at, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts and your analysis on Bitcoin. Leave a comment, um, leave a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.